Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time for us to chill out a little bit and stop criticizing Khalyla so much. I don't know if you caught this, but on the last episode of Bad Friends, Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino actually talked about the episode with Khalyla and addressed how much negative feedback they received from that episode. Now, what they said was pretty shocking because they sounded serious. So in this video, we'll take a look at what they said and figure out if they are actually serious or if this is just an attempt to do damage control. So let's get into it. And before we continue, if you guys can please do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button. It really helps out a ton, and we are trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Vibe, because I think what you can communicate it better, but the idea that people are throwing stones at Khalyla is wild, because also they'd be like, "Way to go, Santino!" like I had anything to do with it. Well, here's what's interesting. Two things. One, I think people forget that this is like a family. We're like a family together.
Yeah.
And obviously, when we're around and joking around with storyline on the show, that's half of the fun of the show. That's what that relationship was to you. There was a lot of ups. There was downs. There was learning curves. There was changes as people, and you grew. And then when it was over, it was still a good thing. It helped both of you in different ways. And that's the mature thing that I will give you a lot of credit for.
At first, when I saw that Khalyla was on that episode, I didn't really think much of it. I thought that, they were just trying to troll the fans. And it was pretty funny having Khalyla on. It's whatever. It's not that serious. But it was interesting seeing their reaction after getting completely destroyed on the last episode with Khalyla. Again, in my opinion, I think they just try to troll the audience, stir up the pot a little bit by having Khalyla on, but I don't think they expected that much negative feedback, because it wasn't even a debate in the comments. It was just a bloodbath. And honestly, it's a pretty interesting situation. For example, I personally didn't care that she filled in for Bobby Lee. I just didn't expect the feedback to be this insane. I expected the episode to get, some dislikes, some negative comments, but not to this extent. It was mind-blowing, because even though she is not a comedian, she still technically is a black belt in podcasting. She's been doing it forever, and she knows how to carry a show. It's harder than you think. And Andrew Santino, on the other hand, he's a beast, so they just made it work. It wasn't a horrible episode. So again, I found what they said a bit confusing, and Andrew almost contradicts himself by, saying that he thinks people don't get the vibe with Khalyla, and he doesn't understand, that people hate her and all that stuff. But at the same time, even though he's playing around, making a big deal about Carlos, the producer, kissing her. Because at the end of the day, I thought this was all for entertainment. But now backtracking and saying that, having negative feedback about Khalyla actually hurts their feelings and they are all a family, just makes it a bit confusing. Now, is there a chance that Khalyla forced them to make that message? I'm just kidding. Obviously, I'm just kidding. I'm trolling. It's all speculation. I'm just kidding.
Listen, I was in a jam. I was out of town, and this production that I was working on, they needed me for extra days. I couldn't get back in town in time, and she filled in for me last minute.
She did a great job.
And number one. Number two, I want people to know that she's always going to be a part of my life, and I love her like she's family. She is the only person that I can rely on 100%. We're still like children. Like when we see each other, it's just like there's a connection and
same.
A family kind of vibe. No, the jokes are not going to work right now.
It did make me laugh.
It was very funny. Yeah,
it would just be two.
But when people attack her online, right? Listen, I feel great about our relationship, right?
It was a good run.
It was a great run. I don't feel resentment. I feel like it only helped me on different levels, emotionally, my place in the world, what I want. She brought a lot of great things out of me, and and whenever I see people say negative things online about her, it really breaks my heart. It's like you're attacking me in a weird way.
Now, this is where things get more interesting. We actually talked about this on a previous video where I mentioned how I thought it was an odd move to have Khalyla fill in, at the last minute, because they live in LA, and I would assume there is at least 10 people within a 1 mile radius that are doing podcasting at that exact same moment. So it led me to think that it was a planned episode. Plus, Khalyla and Andrew never talked about it on the episode, they never brought up the fact that she was just covering very last minute for Bobby Lee. They just presented her as a guest, which is fine, like I said. But keep in mind, this is all speculation. I can't believe I have to keep repeating this, but this is all speculation.
Yeah. But I think that's what people need to remember and keep in mind. As much fun as we want to have on the show, and we always do.
Yeah, and people keep pitting me and Rudy against each other, and I just want to say that she is my family now too.
Yeah,
and
I
love that girl. And
it's not a war. This is all for fun. And by the way, when we play into the war, that's even the funnier thing is that's the whole point of it. Like, look, here's something that we can address on the show. We had Khalyla fill in for you.
I want to talk about this.
Everybody who watched it that had something negative to say, didn't understand that.
Oni, what's wrong with a little controversy?
I don't like
you're
it.
scared
I
of
am.
it. It's not.
Yes.
Don't.
I am. You're so controversial.
But I'm not controversial. I'm just.
Yes, you are. You're in fights all the time with people.
I love it.
But like all of a sudden,
how does that hurt? Like it just causes more people to watch your.
But why do you not? Why does it not bother you?
Because in this day and age, because of TikTok and social media and all these things can be clipped, and they're just interesting, right? It's like, it's not like I purposely start beefs with people, but if they come up, I don't shy away from them.
Again, I just find what they said a little bit confusing because Bobby Lee has gone on other podcasts and explained how he knows and understands that this whole thing is just for entertainment and that people love it, people make clips of it, it goes viral, yada yada. But now they are both saying that they are a family and that it hurts them when people hate on Khalyla or leave negative feedback. Now, keep in mind that the negative criticism or the hate that they got wasn't just from random people that saw Khalyla on a random thread and then went to to dislike the video. It's actual Tiger Belly or Bad Friends fans that showed that they disliked the video. So I mean, it's direct feedback from your fan base, so can't really complain there. So it sounds like Bobby Lee is not going to be talking about his relationship or personal problems on the podcast anymore. I mean, that's how you get people to stop. You just look at Shab and Callan. The only time that we ever talk about them is when other people trash them. So, it is possible. If you want people to slowly stop talking about you, it is possible. Either way, it doesn't matter. Like I mentioned before, we all do this for fun, for entertainment. None of this is serious. I mean, no harm to anyone. I, of course, do not approve and I disagree with anyone that leaves nasty comments on anybody's YouTube page, social media, whatever. Usually on my comments, I don't delete any comments unless they are completely just brain dead or, breaking TOS. I know it's a broad thing to say, but I just don't delete that many comments. But what do you guys think? Will they continue to play into the drama? Are they for sure going to stop talking about it? Or what's going on? Yeah, what do you guys think? I feel like it was a bit of a confusing statement from them, but we'll see. Let me know what you think on the comments below. Like the video. If you made it this far, please hit the subscribe button. It helps out the channel a ton. We are trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. Follow me on Instagram at Comedy Enforcement, Twitter Comedy ENF. But that's all we have for today. See ya.